Good day, everybody. Once again, I've had another wonderful walk. And of course, when I have walks, I always think. And sometimes when I'm thinking, sometimes I reflect on things that I've heard in the past. Sometimes I think about things that's going on in the current moment. Um, but it's always something different each time. And usually, whatever it is, I feel better after I think about it, regardless of what it is. So today I was thinking about the story about Adam and Eve from the Bible. Now I haven't, been to church anytime recently, and I haven't, read my Bible, and I don't even know when's the last time I've even read a Bible. But I was just thinking about the story itself, and it's interesting because when you think about Adam and Eve, the story from the Bible, and the way that it said creation started, you think about here it is, you've got two people in a garden, the Garden of Eden, and they are surrounded by all this wonderful food, fruit, whatever they can eat to their heart's content. But they're told they can't eat of this one tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Um, and just think about that for a second. In your own life, I'm sure there's been times where there's things that you see that you can't afford or things that you can't have. It may be, hey, you feel like, now I'm not saying you can't have it, but let me rephrase it. It's not that you can't have it, but you feel like you can't have it and it makes you want it that much more. Just think about that. When a car, motorcycle, money, people, you know, you see that you see the most gorgeousest man or woman that you've ever seen in your life, and you wish you can have them, but you don't feel you can have them, or you don't feel you deserve them, or whatever it may be. But this is kind of like the same situation with the garden. So here it is, you're in this garden, you got all this food around you, all these trees around you can eat from. But this one particular tree you can't eat from because of, what it is. So along comes a snake, and the snake catches Eve by herself. And the snake tells Eve, hey, girlfriend, you can have the fruit from that tree. The only reason why God doesn't want you to eat it is because then you'll become like God. And God doesn't want you to be like God. Now I'm summarizing all this, so for you Christian folks and Bible students, don't take this as a direct quote, because it's not a direct quote. This is me just summarizing the story and putting my own little flair to it. So, you know, Eve is looking at the tree, and she's probably thinking about the thoughts that she's had all this time about, oh, that tree looks so good. I've always wanted to eat the fruit from this tree. Now I got this snake telling me that it's going to make me like God. Who wouldn't want to be like God? You understand? Who wouldn't want to be like God? Who wouldn't want to be able to create on a whim, just from a pure thought? Just saying. So, there was more to the dialogue than what I'm giving, but bottom line was she ate from the fruit, or she ate from a tree. She ate the fruit from a tree. And then the Bible says she gave it to her husband. Now, it doesn't go into details of how she gave it to her husband. I've heard many a pastor say she used her feminine wiles. She used her sexiness to get the man to eat the fruit. I've heard all kind of different scenarios as to how this went down. But the bottom line was he ate the fruit too. And the moment that he ate the fruit, then their eyes were open. They could see the truth. They could see that they were naked. They could see they was in this garden. They were butt naked. And they needed to hide because they were unclothed. So here comes God, coming through the garden. And he's calling out, Adam, Eve, where y'all at? And they're hiding. They're hiding from God. There's some discrepancies about this story already, but we ain't going to go into all that. So they're hiding from God. And so finally, when they decide to reveal themselves, they say, hey, we were hiding because we were naked, bottom line. And God says, who told you you were naked? Now, this is where the story becomes very interesting. And I think it really made me think, about myself. And this is where it became interesting, because the first thing that Adam did was say, hey, God, that woman you gave me, dog, man, she gave me this fruit, and player, I had to eat it. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing he did was, first he blamed God. Then he blamed Eve. So then we go to Eve. And Eve said, well, the snake was the one. The snake was the one that told me that it was cool, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say this. We make choices. We all make choices. In any given moment, we make a choice. And the first thing we do when we make a choice is, if it doesn't turn out in a very glorified way, in a very comfortable way for us, the first thing we do is look at who we can blame for the choice that we made. And I want you to think about that for a second, because we all do it. We all make choices that put us in situations that sometimes make us very uncomfortable. And then the first thing we do when somebody asks, well, what happened? Oh, well, man, this dude didn't do this, or this girl didn't do that, or he lied to me, she lied to me. Oh, man, we look to blame everybody except ourselves. We don't want to stand up and take responsibility for our own choices in life and in any given moment. So I want you to just think about that for a moment, because I'm sure if any of you are like me, when you get into a situation where you're either unhappy or you're faced with some difficulties, the first thing you do is you look to see how what someone else did made this choice not work out well for you. Now, we can go into a lot of different scenarios here about how, well, this does happen. Well, people do me wrong. We can go into all that. But the bottom line is, you still made a choice. You still made a decision to go down whatever path it was, to stick with that person, to believe that that was the right choice at that time. Why not just own up to the choice? And the beautiful thing about choices is you can always choose again. You can always choose something different. You don't have to be stuck with that one choice. You don't have to blame someone else for the choice that you made. Stand up, take responsibility, make better choices to make a better life for yourself. This is just a shared thought from me, your brother, to you, my brothers and sisters. So, and of course, when I say that word, it has nothing to do with my skin tone. I'm talking about the human race. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I hope that, I hope this can help somebody, or at least get them to thinking about, choices. And also, I hope that, that you guys are being encouraged every day. And if someone isn't encouraging you, know that you are a beautiful, wonderful, knowledgeable, extraordinary creation. Now go out there and be it. All right, you guys have a wonderful day.